All right, guys, welcome back. Working on these video episodes here for the Rowan branch. We are specifically talking about anxiety, depression, panic attacks, how that has impacted our lives over God knows how long. But what I want to address in this video, hopefully it won't be too long, is where do you believe the event or the trauma began for you? Now, I do understand that there can be things that are buried in our subconscious because they were so bad. And I'm not trying to ask you to relive horrible events in your life. At some point or another, hopefully, we have all had actual professional guidance. Some of us may be on medication or using other methods. And there's a lot of other methods that are available. I'm not trying to advocate against getting professional help. If you feel you are in a crisis, seek professional help, call 911. The purpose behind trying to understand our past trauma is exactly what it sounds like. What do you know of that happened to you that really kind of set these situations, this loop into play when it comes to your anxiety, your depression, or your panic attacks? For me personally, mine began at a young age. In grade school, I had eczema really bad. And you're talking about back in the late 70s, early 80s. And of course, people did not fully understand what was going on. It's like, oh, this guy is contagious. I mean, there was one class where I recall I was removed from the class because other parents had a concern that all the sores that were on my skin, and I had it severely. But I was put out in the hallway on a desk by myself. That gave me my first real understanding of the actual cruelty that humankind can exhibit on people when things are not understood. And especially back then, a lot of things were not understood. Any of you in the same age category as myself, you will understand that. That really put a structure of certain beliefs in my mind as I went forward through school. I did have some good years in grade school, don't get me wrong, but going into junior high was really, really difficult. A complete new environment. I mean, you were talking, 4 years? 7, 8, or no, it's not like a middle school. It was 3 years, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and then of course high school began at 10th grade. It was just horrendous. That was my first real experience understanding panic and anxiety. And honestly, anxiety becomes built up, and that's what leads to your panic. And now, if you have agoraphobia, which I do actually have some moderate, in some points do severe points of agoraphobia myself, that becomes known as the fear of experiencing that situation all over again. So, in other words, if you were in school and had those overwhelming feelings of a panic attack, the physiological feelings that we all understand quite well, you would take on a mindset of avoidance to where you do not and will not participate in those kinds of events. You will literally make yourself sick or find excuses to avoid that. And that is really a psychosomatic effect of this type of situation that we have experienced for many years in our life. And of course, to clarify, psychosomatic basically is your mind creating the physiological effects in your body. But those effects are very real. We know what panic attacks feel like. You get the sweaty hands, you get shaky, your heart races, your mind starts to race. I mean, you literally are convinced you are going to die. You start to hyperventilate. And yes, you can even pass out. That actually has happened to me on a couple of occasions, to the point where my avoidance behavior became so dramatic that I stopped going into stores. And on some other episodes, we're going to get into other avoidance behavior and habits we get into to avoid that. And yes, I am going to be talking about the topics of addiction, whether it be any type of drug, alcohol, food, or any type of behavior that we may have. It varies, and it varies based on one individual to another. So other than that, guys, you're not alone. This channel is intended to be kind of a forum for us to connect and realize we're not alone. Because I will tell you what, just one person giving you support when others don't or don't understand can literally make the difference between life and death.